Good morning, everybody. Keeper Eric and Keeper Grace here in the tropical rainforest exhibit, and today we're going to be talking about the Saki monkeys. We've got two Saki monkeys here. We've got Enrique, who is 14, and we've got Romeo, his dad, who's 24. So back in 2006, we had Romeo and his mate, and we had no idea that she was pregnant. She was a little on the older side to be getting pregnant. And one day the keepers came in and she had a baby. And within about 2 days, she started to not feel good, not look good. And they took her to the vet, and the vets did everything they could, and she passed away. And it turned out she had gotten septicemia, which is an infection of the body, because something in her uterus had torn or had an ulcer or something when she had the baby. And so some bacteria got into her bloodstream and caused her to die. So the keepers had to come in and hand raise Enrique. And so he was getting bottle fed every couple hours, and he would go home with the zookeepers. And then when he was here at the zoo, he was in a little cage with Romeo, so they got to know each other. And then when he got big enough, we introduced them. You want to get a picture of the Trogon?
I was like, Trogon is making a lot of noise above us.
Right above us. That's a white.
There he is.
Trogon.
You trying to steal the show?
Yeah.
You're very backlit.
So every animal in this exhibit, in the tropical rainforest exhibit, is from Central or South America. So it's actually American rainforest or Neotropics, as opposed to Africa or Asia. So there's no species in here from Africa or Asia. They're all from Central or South America, including the Saki monkeys here. We call them white-faced Sakis. They're also known as pale-faced Sakis. And the males have those big, white, round faces. We'll see if we can get a good picture of that. Get a little bit of a glare, unfortunately. And the females, they don't have those big white faces at all. Their faces are much thinner, and they're more of a grayish color. The whole body is more gray with a little bit of speckled reddish in them. So they do look different. You can easily tell a male from a female. And that's what we call sexual dimorphism, when the males and the females look different. So there's a lot of animals. Cardinals are one that you can easily tell the male from the female. Whereas something like a rabbit, you cannot tell a male from a female. And then there's certain animals that, like a rabbit, if you got close enough and you looked at their genitalia, you could tell. But there's some animals like snakes that from the visual, from looking at them visually, you can't tell who's who. You have to be a little more invasive. So the Sakis are kind of hanging out. They like to eat fruit and nuts mostly, but they will eat bugs. They will eat other small animals. And if you see their teeth, they're very, very strong because they're built for cracking nuts open. So a lot of monkeys don't have super strong mouths, just because they're used to eating fruit and other semi-soft things. But Sakis have really strong mouths to break open those nuts. So I would never advise you to be bit by anything, but you definitely don't want to be bit by a Saki because it's going to hurt real bad.
When I go in to feed them, I hand them their nut right away.
Yes. And
then they're happy.
The nuts are one of their favorite things. So you hand them a nut and they're going to be busy trying to crack that open and eat it out while you can do the rest of the stuff. These guys are generally friendly. They're not They're not pets. They're definitely not something I wouldn't go in and pick him up. Because they would not like that at all. They're curious. They're very intelligent. So if you want to pan down and get a picture of the enrichment over there.
Oh, yeah.
We had a couple different enrichments. We got that little sand bed that we could throw small things on, like mealworms or seeds, sunflower seeds or something like that. And they could pick through that. And then there's the egg crate. So you can hide stuff in the egg crate, and then they've got to dig through it, stick their hand in and pull it out. So these are kind of natural behaviors they would do in the wild, looking for food, foraging for food. So we try to give them stuff like that here to keep them interested and excited.
Pam asked, what does their call sound like?
I'm surprised Enrique's not doing it.
I'm surprised Enrique's not doing it, yeah. I don't know that I can mimic it very well.
It's a trill.
Yeah.
So like if you would roll your tongue, like you were rolling your R's, it sounds like that, but it's really high pitched. Usually when we are around, Enrique's right in our face looking at us.
I'm surprised.
So they're real calm today for some reason.
Emily asked if we've had any babies.
The only baby we've ever had here is Enrique. And he was born 14 years ago, and
we just have the boys now.
Yeah, Mom died literally right after he was born, and so we just have the boys, and they get along, and they are part of an SSP, the species survival plans we like to talk about, where the different zoos get together and manage the populations. And so they've always just wanted us to keep these two together. They've never wanted to bring in a female or ship out one of them to breed. So.
How much do they weigh?
They weigh about 2 kilograms or so.
Like, they're not much.
Which is about 5 pounds. So they're very fluffy. And of course, with his back to you, you can't see anything, but their belly and their underside doesn't have quite as much fur. And you can see they're very thin and wiry underneath their fur and their biceps, and you can really see when they turn around and show us.
Right, he looks very fluffy from this angle.
Yes. They are fluffy, but they're not very heavy, but they're very strong. They're built for living in the trees, so they have strong arms and legs, and they love to hop. They love to jump from tree to tree. Yeah. And so their legs are really strong, so they can jump. One thing I read said 33 feet.
Wow.
I don't know.
I believe it.
I don't know if that's
when they're motivated
to something lower.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe it when they're motivated. Emily asked about any health concerns for this species specifically. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No.
I don't think that we've had any problems with these guys.
No, these guys have both been really healthy, knock on wood. Especially Enrique or Romeo's getting kind of up there in age. They live to about 14 or 15 in the wild, and in captivity they can live up to 30 or maybe 35. So you figure 24 is starting to get geriatric, but they both seem really good. And
let's see, how big are they? It's hard to tell with nothing to compare them to.
Do you want to pan back and show me versus? So Romeo's about 2 or 3 feet behind me.
Yeah.
So I'll put my hand up. He's they're probably about a foot tall or so.
Yeah.
This cage is 8 feet.
8 feet tall.
So
he's like, "What are you doing up there?" Oh, there's my hand. Handprint on the glass.
We haven't been washing the windows quite as much in here because it's closed to the public. So
yeah. I was also resting my hot hands on the glass so that I didn't make you guys sick. Emily asked, have they been at the zoo for a long time, or did they live in any other zoos before here?
Enrique did not. He was born here.
Enrique was born here.
Romeo did live at another zoo before he came, and I'm not quite sure which zoo.
I forget what zoo they came from.
St. Louis, does that sound right?
Something like that. I feel like it started with an S.
But they both, Romeo's been here since the exhibit opened in 2004.
Yeah.
So he's been here 16 years.
Yeah.
And he's doing well.
Pam asked, do they use their tail for anything other than besides balance? I'm assuming she's getting at if they're prehensile.
Yeah, they do not have a prehensile tail. But you can kind of see how skinny his legs are underneath.
Yeah.
That tail is not prehensile, so they cannot grab with it. They cannot hang by it. They can't hold anything with it. So it is mostly for balance that they would use that tail. And they do come from the tropical rainforest, so it's not something they need for warmth. They might be able to use it as a umbrella or a rain block if they wanted to. Usually when they sleep, they just kind of curl up on a branch and put their heads down between their legs. So
everybody's hiding on the other side of the exhibit
walk
now.
around. We're wearing masks and stuff.
We are wearing masks. We can go on the other side. Ooh. Oh, now you come up to say hi? Oh, there, you can hear the trill too. You talking?
Rain. Waterfall's coming on.
Can you do your cute little trill for the camera? So Brazil, yes, they would be found in Brazil.
Yeah, northern South. So Brazil, Venezuela, Guinea, French Guinea, places like that.
Could you hear his trill over the waterfall?
And there are different types of Saki monkeys as well. So these are white-faced Sakis, but there are different kinds. So you'd find different kinds more deeper into the Amazon and things like that.
How long is their tail? I think that's what she's asking.
Tail's probably a foot or 14 inches, somewhere around there.
Well, I was going to ask if you could hear the trill, and now a bird is talking too.
Yeah. Come here, Enrique.
Enrique, come here. Come here. Good boy.
Come here. Not going to touch him since I don't have gloves on.
We don't have gloves on.
Lots of noisy birds here in the rainforest.
All right.
Yeah. You want to talk about the tree that's grown in your exhibit?
Sure.
One of my favorite things.
Oh.
So we have this awesome tree growing up through their exhibit. Somebody planted it at one point, and then as it's gotten bigger, it's grown through the top of the cage. So it is causing some problems by making the cage shift, so it's hard to open and close the door. But it's really showing a good example of sending down those air which eventually grow together and are going to become buttresses. So it literally started out as just a single trunk, and then as it sends down those aerial roots from above that take in the air in the water, get all the nutrients out of the air in the water. And then as they grow down, they get thicker and the different aerial roots grow together, and then eventually they'll grow into the trunk, and we'll have this massive tree with these massive buttresses, which are these kind of long legs that come out, and it gives all sorts of little nooks and crannies in there for hiding.
Right, like he's doing it now.
A lot of these ficus trees, it's called a ficus. It's a type of ficus or fig. They're known as walking trees because these aerial roots, you can set a new one down, and then the ones on the other side will kind of die off. And then as long as they keep growing in a single direction, the tree can literally move. So sometimes they're called walking trees because the tree will change location slightly over the years. And remember, they're in tropical areas, so they grow really fast, and there's constant growing season. So here in the United States, and most of the United States, the trees go dormant for a period when we hit winter. But down in Central and South America, you might have a drier season, but that's not going to shut the tree down from growing like it would for winter here.
Yeah. It's back. Oh, did the video pause? What are their names? I'm assuming you're talking about the Sakis, Mom?
Yeah, so Romeo and Enrique.
And Enrique.
All right, well, we are going to get out of here and let the Sakis go back to enjoying their solitude. Don't forget, we're still in the midst of Brews for the Zoo. And last Friday was White Oak.
Yeah, we were at White Oak last Friday.
For the flamingos. This Friday is Little Beaver. Little Beaver.
With their otter design.
And their otter. It's a really cute otter design. Check it out on our Facebook page.
They named it Tallulah after our female otter.
Ours. It's supposed to be kind of fruity.
Yeah. I think it's a honey pale ale. It looks really yummy.
Yeah,
I'm excited to try it.
Lots of berries and stuff. So Friday afternoon at Little Beaver. At 10 o'clock on Wednesday, they'll be out here in front of the otter exhibit talking about it.
Yeah.
So that'll be our next Facebook Live. And then Wednesday afternoon, we'll be talking about the otters
We'll be talking about Tallulah.
Tallulah and Spencer and the baby.
Yep.
He doesn't have a name yet. So tune in Wednesday at 10 and then Wednesday at 3:30. We'll be doing those. And what am I missing? Is that it? We're still going to do a drawing.
Yeah.
If you donate through the donate button below. So don't forget to do that. And
Check out YouTube.
Yep, youtube.com/Miller Park Zoo. And we are open every day, 9:30
to 5.
Yeah, so coming out and see us. We've had a couple people tell us how much they've enjoyed our videos, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So we're glad you guys are watching. We're glad you guys like them. So keep it up. Let us know if you have any more questions, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.